it seems like AI is absolutely blowing up right now, you know?
Yeah.
AI tools, new apps, headlines, everywhere I look.
Everywhere you turn around, something else.
It feels like it's becoming so powerful so fast, and I think it's making a lot of people ask some pretty important questions about, like ethics and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So today, we are going to dive deep into a fascinating press release out of Oxford University.
Okay, cool.
And basically, it looks like they're launching this whole new program dedicated to figuring out, well, the ethics of AI.
Wow, that's something that we need right now for sure.
Absolutely. So to help us break down what this is all about and why it matters, I've got an AI ethics expert with me today.
Hi.
Okay, so first of all, just to get us all on the same page, can you maybe just give us a quick overview of like what exactly this Oxford initiative is all about?
Sure. So Oxford University is launching this really cool 5-year program, and they're calling it the Accelerator Fellowship Program. And it's going to be completely focused on, AI ethics. And one of the interesting things is that it's based at the Stephen A. Schwarzman Center for the Humanities,
Okay.
and it's funded by the Stephen A. Schwarzman Foundation.
Humanities. Huh, that's pretty interesting. I wouldn't have necessarily, thought of the humanities as like the first place to go when we're thinking about AI, which seems so technical.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but it's really not just a technology problem, you see?
Yeah.
It's really a human problem.
Okay.
Because, think about it. AI systems are designed by humans, right?
Yeah.
They're trained on the data that humans create, and then ultimately they're used to make decisions that have a very real impact on people's lives.
Exactly.
So if you really want to understand the ethics part, you need philosophers, you need historians, you need social scientists, because those are the disciplines that really wrestle with those, big questions about what it means to be human and like human values and behavior and stuff.
I see. So it's more about, bringing in all these different perspectives so that we can get like a more complete picture.
Exactly. And then the idea is to use all of that, combined knowledge to actually come up with solutions that will work in the real world.
Okay. I like it. Very practical.
Yeah.
And speaking of solutions,
Mm-hmm.
what are some of the specific issues that they're going to try to tackle with this program?
So one of the really big ones is bias.
Uh-huh.
AI systems are very often trained on data that reflects the biases that already exist in our society. And that means that they can actually end up making those biases even worse.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's where you have someone like Dr. Joy Bulamwini coming in.
Oh, yeah.
She's one of the first fellows in the program, and she's done some really groundbreaking work on exposing bias in facial recognition technology.
Yeah, her work is amazing. I've seen some of it. And it is, kind of terrifying to think about how AI could be used to like really amplify these inequalities that already exist.
Exactly.
So Dr. Bulamwini is definitely someone to watch. I think, okay, so who are some of the other fellows and what are they going to be focusing on?
Well, there's Professor Alondra Nelson, and she was actually a science advisor in the White House.
Oh, wow.
She's really interested in figuring out how to turn ethical frameworks into something you can actually use.
Wow.
So less talk about what AI should do and more like figuring out how to make it happen.
Gotcha. So like taking those high level ideas and making them practical.
Exactly, practical solutions. And then you have Professor Cass Sunstein.
Okay.
He's a specialist in behavioral economics.
Interesting.
And he's digging into how AI makes predictions and maybe even more importantly, how people react to those predictions.
Okay.
Like imagine that there was an AI system that could predict, how likely you are to get a certain disease or even something like predict your future job performance.
Oh, wow.
How would knowing that change how you act?
Right.
How do we ensure that those predictions are used ethically and responsibly?
It's true. I hadn't even thought about that, like that whole other layer of complexity to the issue of AI decision making.
Absolutely, because it's not just making decisions, it's actually shaping how we see things and the actions we take.
Exactly. Okay. So who else is involved in this program?
Well, the last fella I wanted to mention is Professor Yuval Shani.
Okay.
He's an expert in international law, and he's looking at the big picture stuff like digital human rights and how to take something like the U.S. government's AI Bill of Rights and actually put it into action.
Oh, wow. So they really have this like powerhouse team of experts who are tackling all these incredibly complex ethical questions.
They do.
But ultimately, what are they hoping to accomplish with this program? What kind of impact are they hoping to have?
Well, their goal is nothing less than to become like a global hub for AI ethics.
Oh, wow. That's ambitious.
They're planning these high-profile events, they're collaborating with all these international organizations, and really trying to get a global conversation going about how to use and develop AI responsibly. And
Right.
they're not just, sitting in some ivory tower. They're really engaging with policymakers, with industry leaders, and even with the public to try to, make a difference.
That's great to hear. It sounds like they're really serious about making an impact. And I know that they've got some events coming up soon, right?
Oh, yeah, they've got some really cool events in the next few months on AI and creativity, AI and care, AI and human rights, and even one on global regulation of AI.
Wow.
It's amazing how fast this field is changing and
Yeah,
how crucial it is to have these conversations right now.
absolutely. Well, it definitely sounds like Oxford is stepping up to the plate, really grappling with these tough questions head on and trying to shape the future of AI for the better.
Yeah, I think they are.
So I think this is something that we should all be paying attention to. And maybe this is a good place to leave our listeners with like a final thought-provoking question.
Okay.
So as AI, becomes more and more woven into our lives, what are the ethical considerations that are most important to you, and what do you hope to see from this Oxford program or other programs like it?
That's a great question.
I hope this has given all of you some food for thought, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive.
Thanks.
Bye.